Yep, it is 165.
Bam, he's here.
Bam, I'm alive. It was 215s and 310s. That's 60 pounds. And
now, when you put weight on, do you just put weight on based on how you feel, or do you like have a set number? I mean, in this case, like I knew you kind of like were looking for a number, but in other ways, like do you lift? Because I can't know the number. It almost like mentally psychs me.
We're talking about his front squat.
Yeah, I just literally. So I went out there today, and I'm like, hey, I want to do a 3x, and I hadn't done that in a month, and before then, I hadn't done that in 5 years, and so I just basically got on the rower for 2 minutes. Then I stretched, and last time I did 155 for 3, my wrists were killing me after I did it, killing me. So I knew I had to stretch my wrists out. I stretched, rode for 2 minutes, stretched for 2 minutes, rode for 2 minutes, stretched for 2 minutes, rode for 2 minutes. And then I just started front squatting with 45 pounds. And then I just add on like 2.5 pounds at a time.
Yep.
I set a clock for 20 minutes, and every minute on the minute, I do some sort of like movement. And then when I'm like, okay, I'm getting tired. Like around the 13th minute, I'm like, I'm getting tired, and I'm like approaching like 155. What am I going to do today?
Yeah.
Dude, what? Seriously, taking the bar out of the rack is heavy for me.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Those pants, bro.
What?
What were those pants?
Those are my wife's pants. All mine were dirty.
I wanted to ask you if they were. I saw they were Born Primitive, but I was like, are those his?
No, those are mine. Those are mine. Dude, all I do is I'm in my underwear now. All I do is wear underwear all day. I just wear long johns all day, and then at some point, I'm like, well, I got to put my tights on because I'm going outside. Like I'm going out in public.
Yeah.
But yesterday, like we had Super Bowl people over, and I was just in my long johns with no shirt on, just like. I've turned into the full like, hey, that guy's weird. We go over to his house and just in his underwear.
I didn't even care about the front squats. I don't think I even looked at the front squats. I just looked at the pants.
Like,
I was like, I was like, I should text him, but then
hey, anything for engagement. Anything for engagement.
Well, are you talking about the plaid pants though?
No, not the plaid. They're the blue. And here's the thing,
blue one today, but you did one with plaid pants because she texted me. She's like, "Did you see Sevan's pants?" And I was like, "I did not see Sevan's pants. What pants was he wearing?" She's like, "You just have to go look."
It's all Born Primitive, and they're just in different patterns.
Yeah.
And
I am only looking at your pants, just to be clear. Like it's literally just your pants.
Understood. Basically, I put on like I was walking around at 170. Then I started just doing pure keto for 3 weeks, and I dropped down to like 159, and now I'm probably like up over 170. Like I'm just like, I mean, I'm eating like 2 ribeyes a day, as much vegetables as I can, and I'm taking all these like liquid carbs like during my workout. I had 3 pints of water with these liquid carbs in them during my workout. So I'm like, everything's getting so tight on me. It's crazy.
Hey, your chat's fucking wild.
Hi guys.
I just wanna hey,
glad you're all here.
I'm really happy that you guys are all here at the same time, but this is amazing. I just
that is amazing.
Shout Barry McCockiner out, because I mean, if that doesn't just sound exactly like what our logo actually is.
If you named your podcast that, would it fuck up the algo?
I don't know. I mean, I'm serious. At this point, I'm seriously thinking about it.
No, she's not.
I am.
No, you're not.
Yes.
That would be amazing. Or if it was glitten things, like just put glit, like GLIT, and like the way that he's written it out, that would be
there you go. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's fucking amazing.
Dude.
Can you imagine?
I'm typing into YouTube right now, Clinton things. It's a lot of it's like all anatomy videos.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We would get lost.
Dude.
Can you imagine?
Wow, glitten things is good.
Right? With just the G instead of the C, that would be hilarious.
Wow.
Because
I'm gonna type in glitten things and see if you
if it's there,
no, it thinks it wants to switch it to glitz.
Trish has a valid point. Do we agree?
If you changed it to Clinton things, the men would never be able to find it. Fair.
Damn.
Trish has entered the chat.
Damn.
Oh my God.
Coming in hot. Everybody's coming in hot.
Well, that was it. There was another one too. When Sousa, when you were traveling home and Sousa took over your podcast, and someone, I don't know who it is, I'm sure the chat knows, someone was like, hey, I don't know if it's the Beaver that's late or Sousa that's late, but someone's late. And I was like, nope, it's not us. We're not here.
It's not us. It's not us on this Sunday.
My guest didn't even show up this morning.
Yeah, I saw that. Well, I mean, he lost, right? Didn't he lose?
But it was 2 weeks ago, I think.
Oh,
I think. When was it?
I don't know, but wasn't he late to the
First
original?
one? Yep.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh, also too, hey, your Friday night show, let me just stroke you a little bit real quick. That was
hilarious.
Amazing.
JR was amazing. Right?
I have never laughed so hard in my life. I've never been so hard in my life. Like it was, and I figured out, I told you this, how to listen to your podcast in my car. So I had to pull over because I had to see your faces as you were talking.
It was crazy.
It was so funny.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was so good. Spin, Sousa, JR, they killed.
You should do that bit.
Yeah.
Like, just be mad at someone in your crew every week and then just bring them back on. It's awesome.
God, he was so funny.
I mean, he really was.
He was hilarious. The
Oh,
pauses where you're like JR and he's just looking at the screen were probably the best.
I thought he was frozen. I thought he was frozen a couple of times. Like literally that his internet went out and he was just frozen. It was stroking will cost you a star. Fuck. Okay. I'm not stroking him. It's not, I'm not doing that.
Joke. You know what happened is so Dave said something about collecting videos or people applying to host the open, like as the speaker. So I just ran with that. And then the videos came in and I was like, God, why did I even say that? I don't really want to do this. Like, what the fuck, you know? And then so that night, Sousa's like, hey, we got to get this out of the way. And then Sousa hadn't seen the videos. JR was obviously tired as shit. Fucking Spin came on. And I was like, man, this show is going to be a disaster. And it kind of was, but in a good way. It was just
great.
It was just a train wreck. Yeah, it was I had so much fun.
When you were like, hey, I got to pee. Let's just take a pee break. And he's like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah. And then I held my pee for like ever.
Every time Sousa was like, okay, last one. JR was like, last one was like 6 videos ago.
Yeah, JR was he crushed it. He crushed it.
All right, let's get into just a quick couple. There are some questions about the Super Bowl real quick, and then we'll do some other stuff. But what do you think? Does Kendrick Lamar sing the words to Not Like Us, where he basically implies that Drake is a pedo? You think he does it? You think he sings the whole song?
Is he performing there?
Yeah, it's halftime.
Oh, I Kendrick Lamar's a fucking race baiting cuck.
Yeah, he is.
And he's a scumbag of the highest order. And like, I'm not like, I'll walk away from the TV when he
comes on.
Yeah, he's a bitch. Most of those guys are bitches. I don't know anything about that beef. I love Drake's music.
Yeah.
Maybe I have a fucking weak spot for pedophile music. I love Michael Jackson music. Like, fuck, I don't know. I mean, I even like Kendrick's music. But yeah, who the fuck knows? I don't know. But I'm really disappointed. Rappers have really disappointed me. The same way like the heavy metal guys who like or Neil Young or all these people from the 60s who were like freedom, 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 freedom. And then fucking COVID came and they were like, they grabbed their ankles and you know what I mean? They said, pump me. Kendrick's just a douche. I don't know. And I don't know. I think the NFL is great. It sucks because I love Tyson Bagent so much. I think the NFL is gross. I'm only watching the game for 2 real reasons. The Trump interview, which I guess I'll watch at halftime instead of the halftime show because they're interviewing Trump.
Yeah.
And I want to see the Doge commercials that Elon made.
Yes.
Those are going to be crazy. He spent $40 million. And I think that there's this, doesn't like Jesus.com do a commercial every year?
I don't remember.
I don't
I read
remember.
through all of the commercials that are supposed to come out. I didn't see Jesus.com.
Yeah, and I'm watching The Chosen right now, so that's my boy right now. Let me see Jesus.
Yeah,
Super Bowl. So
I mean,
I'm so into all things Jesus right now.
he
He Gets Us campaign has aired ads featuring Jesus during the Super Bowl to promote Christianity. Yeah, so I'm kind of excited. Yeah, they got 2024. Yeah, I see.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So well, what did you think? They took end racism out of the end zone. Do you think that's because Daddy Trump is coming to town? Think that's because he's going to be there?
Who knows? But all that stuff is, my opinion on that. All that stuff is divisive.
I think so.
Yeah, all that. Any time I see a woman or a black guy or a gay guy or a lesbian who's employed anywhere in corporate America or in the government, I wonder if they got hired because of DEI, and I never would have thought that in 2019, not even once for a second.
No.
And so now I think that, and it's like, fuck, and I know that was the ploy. I know that was the ploy of the whole Marxist thing to reintroduce the class system again.
I don't want to see any of it. Like my sister asked me.
It worked on me. They brainwashed me. They fucked me up. They made me, you know what I mean? They made me fucking employ the class system, and it worked. And so it's like I'm just trying to I think the NFL played a huge role in that, and I don't like that.
I hear you. The View went off on it as always because that's just them, and they're like, "Hey, it's because Trump's showing up to the game," and maybe if that's the reason, I don't care.
They're still going to do the Black National Anthem, which is
I don't even know what that is.
I don't know what that is either, but I heard they're doing it, and that's as divisive as everything. You're basically, whether you know it or not, you're basically telling people that black and white people are different.
Right.
And it's like, this is an opportunity to come to, and maybe we are different. We react to the sun different. Maybe you know what I mean? But why not just have one that we could do things that we can all get behind, especially at the Super Bowl? And they're doing it under the bullshit guise of being inclusive, and it's not inclusive.
No,
it's divisive, and it's gross, and it's not. You just have to know how the human brain works, right? Like, I understand them intellectualizing it, thinking it's a nice thing to do, but it's not. It's divisive.
My sister and I were talking about it the other day, and I just was basically like, I don't want to hear about it anymore. I don't want to see it anymore. Because every time you see it, every time you hear about it, it makes it more divisive. Like Kanye just came out and said, all white people are racist. It came out on DL Hughley or whatever. He tweeted it.
Posting amazing shit. The thing about fat bitches and Jews, and he's going nuts.
Yeah. And everybody knows it's because he has a project coming out. But I guess they think he wants black people to come back to him, like he's part of the black community again, or whatever it is that he does that's divisive.
Really?
Divisive. Yeah. That's always what happens. He does some shit with Candace Owens. He tweets some shit like what he just tweeted, and then he runs back to get, or they think he's running back to get black people support, and then he drops an album or a project, or because he just had his wife naked at the Grammys.
Dude, was her body insane?
Yeah, she's fly. But that's what all the black people are saying right now is like, but you date white women, so how are all white people racist?
There's nothing wrong with I'll agree with them. Everyone is racist. How about that?
Yeah,
I'll go. How about this? Everyone has discernment. How about everyone discriminates? You pick the tall dude for the basketball team. It's just, you're right. It's just bullshit. Hey, here's the proof that it's divisive. When you watch the UFC fight, or if you go somewhere, they play the national anthem for the guy from the country he's coming out. And the reason why is because you want that country to rally behind that guy. It's divisive on purpose, and it's cool, right? For the Olympics, it's divisive because each country is competing against the other countries. So when you play the black national anthem, what you're telling everyone is that the blacks are competing against the whites. Whether that's your intention or not, it's like this. We all know that Elon was sending out his love from his heart, right? That was his intention, right? but the fucking idiot saw this.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it's crazy. I hate that shit.
Hold on, I have to read money because this is what we Jeremy Roll, what's up, bro? Garrett and I are both half of both. We are super differenter. Thanks, Jeremy. And then D Reed is I am Asian adjacent. I don't know. I can't with it. I'm glad that they took end racism down. It's almost like they think that
Me too.
you can actually end racism. People are going to be racist, just like people are going to be homophobic. People are going to be transphobic. You're not going to end it. Like
Sean Strickland said something crazy the other day in his press conference, and I really, really like him. Sean Strickland is a UFC fighter, and he said in the press conference, he said he was fighting a guy from South Africa, and he goes, "Yeah, I really like this guy. You know, I'm going to kick this guy's ass. He's a retard, but we have some things in common. His country and my country both want to keep guns away from black people." And I wanted to ask him I couldn't tell if that was a joke or not, but I wanted to ask him so bad. That's the problem. Like, I wanted to say, hey, do you know that skin color is a correlate? It's not a cause. Like, I don't know if he really knows that. I don't know if he really knows that. And that's where people that's where like the correlation ends up to being discernment, which ends up to being, we're just, like Greg always says, we're just trying to make the best predictive value. You don't know for sure if Colleen's going to cheat on you or not, but her behaviors are so predictive to you that you feel safe being with her. So you had a kid with her and you married her, but it's all based on what you can predict about her character. And so that's all the shit we're trying to do. Right. And so we're just taking in data and trying to make predictions about things that we can trust. Okay, it seems like every morning the sun comes up. We can pretty much trust that. Throw that in the fucking truth bucket. And that's all we're doing here. And so, I mean, if you grew up in the hood, your idea of predictive value, predictions of what you see is going to be different than someone who grew up, in the jungle.
Right.
So.
So this idea that we have to talk about it in order for it not to happen again. Like when we talk about, slavery and all of this type of stuff, that we have to continue to talk about it, because if we don't continue to talk about it, then it's going to happen again. But something that I was talking about here with Jeremy and Garrett was, for so many years, humans fought to get rid of segregation. We all want to be in the same space. We all want to just live our life and be able to walk down the street and not have to worry that someone's going to come after us because of the way that we look, who we love, and all this type of stuff. But we're almost now going backwards because everything is separated. Well, because I'm white, I can't do this. Because I'm white, I can't do this. Because this group is black, or this group is native, then they want their own separate space. So are we actually trying to become better than the world was before? Or are we just, now it's from a place of like, well, now I can control that. Groups can control that because they're not in slavery anymore.
This is what I think happened. We only see what we want to see. We're just projecting onto the world nonstop, right? Just nonstop. And I think what was happening was, a lot of people want there to be racism in the world because they think it's real. And I think we were losing it. I think it was about to fucking be gone. Right.
Yeah.
And so there became a shortage. The demand was higher than the supply. And so it became a run on racism, and it became a very, very valuable commodity. It's like when toilet paper, remember when, like, during COVID, toilet paper, there was a run on toilet paper,
and
or
chicken.
We all thought we were gonna
paper and chicken.
Yeah.
Or PlayStations, at Christmas time, there becomes a run on it. So the supply of racism was getting so fucking low that we needed to increase the demand. So here we see a black guy fucking OD on fentanyl with cops trying to, like, help him get out of the car because he's yelling, "I can't breathe." And it didn't matter what the truth was. It was like, it's kind of like, well, that's not a real PlayStation. It's not PlayStation 5, but it's a PlayStation 2. Let's just call it a PlayStation 5 and fucking run with it and sell it. Just the demand became so fucking high. and people could get a lot of miles out of it. And so just like homelessness, or drug addicts, a whole economy built around racism, and it was like the cool thing.
Hey,
And
do you think
so many people fell for it because people are attracted to where the attention is and not the truth. They did, like, those people don't. I honestly, maybe I'm just saying, I think they mean well. They're just so fucking confused. They're
Hey,
so caught up in the supply and demand thing.
It's a conspiracy theory on my part, or well, it's a conspiracy theory out there. But hey, do you think that they did that? It was we were going, they were trying to push Biden on us, and then all of a sudden, race just became this humongous thing. Every day we saw something on our phone that was some horrible thing that a cop did. There was some horrible thing that some Karen did to somebody with some like it was nonstop. It was just fed to us. Like I remember just scrolling and everything I saw was that. And
I see it now.
Do you
My
think
algorithm is that?
Do you think it was a push to get Biden that year?
I honestly don't know. I was so late to the game. I was so late to the game to see what was happening. But now that I go back and look at the historical record, like there were people complaining about it during the Reagan years because Reagan was ushering that shit in, like affirmative action and like and those types of things. And I guess the hardcore libertarians and hardcore conservatives are like, what the fuck are you doing? And so right away, being on the left end, they were Reagan. If you were on the left, you loved it, but the hardcore people on the right then were saying, hey, this is bullshit. It's a slippery slope. We're fucking with the Constitution. And so I think this has been happening. I think it's been happening for a long, long time. And we had a lot of really shitty leaders. And yeah, I think time will tell, though. We'll find out. I definitely think Obama was pulling the strings. I think that's why Biden got elected. Could you give me just 2 minutes? Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Or maybe a minute.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I definitely fell for that. Let's go in. Sorry, guys. Your comments are CK Kevin. What's up, dude? My algorithm is Sevan and Glinton things. Oh, thanks, dude. we might be changing Glinton things. I don't know.
We are not. We are absolutely not.
Hey, Jake, you made me a wrench, dude. That was crazy. I just noticed that. Jeremy World, when one has reached the end of any sort of logic, they may have to resort to reviving something like racism because that's all they have. That's what I was thinking. I mean, really. Fondal Deuce, what's up? Eggs is the new toilet paper. I can't even tell you how much our deli pays for eggs for this.
Oh my God. Eggs are so expensive.
Papa Birch, what's up? Horrible guest.
It's one of the best, right?
Hey, yeah, Trish, I didn't realize that until I got, like, it was when I saw you were a wrench. I was like, oh shit, I'm a wrench. I don't know what to do with this power.
Garrett became
I was like, I don't know what to do with this power right now. It's amazing.
So wait, Sevan, you think there is or you think there isn't racism?
I mean, what is racism? Is racism like someone comes into your restaurant and you won't serve them because they're black?
I mean, I would assume.
Or racism, someone cuts you off and you look in their car and it's a Chinese person and you go, you fucking chink. Like, is that racism?
The car thing, okay.
Like, to me, the car thing is not racism.
Right. Yeah.
The thing to me is like, you won't serve someone in your restaurant because you're black. That, to me, that's racism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so anytime my hand goes like this, like if I'm like, look at that bird, like that's not racism to me. That's not the Nazi salute to me. So I don't know, but I do know that taking away the rights of individuals and giving them to groups,
right,
is part of the Democratic Party for a long fucking time under the guise of being kind. I know that the South, one of their biggest arguments for not freeing the slaves was if we let them go, they're going to die. And they called the Northerners complete scumbags for not taking care of the blacks. And do I think blacks in Africa gathering up blacks and selling them to the world as slaves is racism.
At this point, I'm just going with
I don't know, but I think taking away rights from people is I don't think calling someone a fucking chink because they cut you off is racism, because you're not taking anything away from them. I think racism like somehow is like when you're taking something away, like that's just your discernment or your pop culture or your stupidity, or maybe you're accurate. Maybe Chinese people are worse drivers. I just don't see. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want my kids doing that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, is it sexist? Like today I was watching, there's a great clip from before Trump was elected where AOC is and this other congresswoman, it's this black congresswoman who has these huge eyelashes that are so big you can't see her eyes. Something Scott. They're fighting with Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Marjorie Taylor Greene goes, "Maybe you can't see past your eyelashes," to the black lady, and AOC goes, "That's uncalled for." And then Marjorie Taylor Greene goes, "I won't say I'm sorry." And then the other girl, the black lady Scott, goes, "Would it be wrong if I called you a butch with a butch body," or something like that, making fun of Marjorie Taylor Greene's buff body. And I hear the men up there, the old white men, are like banging the fucking gavel, and I'm thinking to myself, this is what happens when you let bitches fucking in, like, to do man's work. That's what, like, I'm thinking, like, when I'm in the garage. But like, I don't really think that, but I don't really think that, but that's what I'm thinking. Oh, this is what happens when you fucking let women fucking into they're being catty and fighting, and this goes on for like 10 fucking minutes. And like, I don't really, like, I don't think I'm sexist for saying that. Like, it's like, it would be like if you were like, if you saw men peeing on the fence, and if you had a bunch of guys over at your house, right? And then you went in your backyard, and your backyard had pee along the fence, it smelled like fence. You're like, that's what it's like fucking having dudes over. Like, I don't think that's sexist. It's just is like,
I've definitely said that before, because we don't have a public restroom in our deli. And so when people come in and ask to use it, I have to say no, because we're not zoned for it, for a public bathroom. And then they go outside and pee on the fence behind. I've definitely,
dude, it's the truth. That's fucking dudes. You fuckers will pee anywhere.
I've definitely
I
seen
walk
it.
outside and I'm like, yo,
And
guys, come on. Like, at least go behind the other building, not next to my fucking car.
So I think that, I think that, I think it's more like just taking away the rights of individuals and giving them to groups. The Democrats do that under the guise of being nice, and it's not nice.
Yeah.
It's not nice. Someone's getting fucked, whether it's affirmative action, whether it's FDR putting the Japs in fucking internment camps and taking all their shit to protect everyone else in the country. It's fucked up. It's just, it's fucked up. It's you're taking you've seen the stat. It was like in 2022 or something. The Forbes top 100 countries in the United States had 300,000 hires, and only 6% of them were white males. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, how can that fucking be?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what you call it. I don't even know what racism is anymore. But taking away the rights of individuals and giving them to groups is some fucked up shit.
I've started just to believe that if you're just a bad person. I like to think about it that way. Like, if you're going to do something shitty to somebody else, regardless of why you did something shitty to somebody else, you're just a shitty person.
Yeah. I'm not against gay men at all. Be as gay as you want, but because of my discernment of what men are and that they don't have women around, like all these pedophile Instagram accounts, they're not catching women. Yeah. They're catching gay dudes. And so it's not like I'm not like a gay dude can't come to my house, or he can't listen to my podcast, or I wouldn't like serve him ice cream if I worked at the ice cream shop. But like, hey dude, like my own discernment is like, I don't want you working with my kids. And it's like, but I'll play football with you and sit in the sauna with you and get drunk with you, and you can come over. We can do all the other shit, but I don't think that makes me homophobic, even in the slightest.
No,
because I'm not afraid of gays, but I just got my rules about them.
You have boundaries with your kids.
Yeah.
You have a lot of boundaries with your kids. And I think that that's something that is very difficult to have conversations, especially with the public school system and all of this ideology shit coming around or whatever, is that we have friends that are like, it's not happening, Colleen. I'm like, it is happening. Like it is happening. Every time you open a newspaper now, it's some teacher that works with kids that has, sexually assaulted some other kid or has been doing it for a long time or is part of trafficking and I mean fill in the fucking blank. So this idea that that things aren't happening, I think is very frustrating when you try to have conversations with people because it is happening. You see it, you hear all of these stories. So when did boundaries become so terrible?
I wouldn't care if someone said to me, I don't want you babysitting my kid because you're a boy. I would not be pissed at all. I would be like, yeah, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Just like, hey, I don't want someone babysitting my kid who can't drive a car, probably.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be able to drive a car too.
Teresa, generalizing, I get it. I understand it. I used to be completely pissed off when they were like, hey, all gay gym teachers are going to do something to like you can't be gay and a gym teacher because that's going to lead to some shit.
Well,
I remember
all the female gym teachers then.
Exactly. That right. And it's fine. And just the way that when I first read the thing that Yi put out where he was like, all white people are racist. Yeah, it fucking hurts for a second. I get it. I understand it. But generalizing, you kind of have to sometimes. Like, I guess if I had a generalization, I would say like, hey, my kid's not going to gymnastics camp. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to happen.
Your boy or your girl? I'd send my boy.
I'm not sending shit.
Yeah. I don't blame you. And I don't blame you.
Nope.
I don't blame you. Hey, dude, what were the odds are? I had Paige Powers and Alexis Raptis both on the show within like a month, and they both knew the fucking diddler.
Right.
Remember him? The Dr. Diddler.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's like, holy shit. Really? Everyone knows the diddler. It's like, yep. Yeah. And hey, even if it's not true, which I think it is true, the amount of diddling that goes on. Hey, women's anywhere where there's listen, yeah, this is it. Anywhere where there's a lot of women, there's some diddling going on if there's dudes around.
Well, that was just what I was I do like that she brought that up, the generalization thing. Barry's like, it doesn't hurt me. You're a dude.
Is it bad to generalize? Like, what is it bad to generalize?
I think when you
somewhere.
I do, and I agree with
you. Go to Safeway and you're like, you go to buy the grocery store and you want protein, you go to the meat section, and then from there you start whittling shit down, right?
But right, and by that I mean I understand what Teresa's saying. It's like it sucks when you're part of the group that's being generalized, and you're like, oh shit, I'm not that, and you're like, don't put me in that category. I'm not that. It was like that with the LGBTQ. I think for us. It's like, hey, don't put me in that fucking that category because I don't believe any of that shit that they're talking about right now.
Right.
And so you want to.
That's a crazy thing.
Yeah, you just want
to. And the gays got all fucking sucked up into some fucked up shit.
And it's like, yo, I'm not. And also too.
But in some cases, we're not allowed anymore.
Yeah,
because we don't.
Yeah,
we don't believe.
Yeah,
that they should be going after children.
The party's agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you have a difference of opinion, you can't sit down and talk about it.
No,
they won't they just won't have a conversation with you. Like immediately. So again, I understand what Teresa's saying and I understand, but you kind of you're right. You kind of have to start there and kind of whittle it down until you find like what you believe, I guess you would say.
Hey,
like
if 80% of fucking snakes are venomous, then those other 20%, it's just the way it is, dude. Like,
I get it, but are there?
I don't want you in my yard.
But so that now I have to think about it. Are 80% of the LGBT Rainbow Coalition venomous, or am I just listening to a very loud 20%?
Right, that's a great point. But regardless, that's the perception that
right. Exactly.
Because of the woke movement, that was the perception. And dude, like every single fucking, like if you follow any of those predator channels where they catch predators on Instagram, and there's so many of them now, it's all fucking gay dudes. It's all dudes getting little boys. And so like gay dudes are getting like, that's going to be the perception. If you're a gay dude, you're getting lumped up in that.
And I know that's why most of us were like, hey, sit the fuck down for a second. Like, stop. You're not helping us right now. You're not, even for transgender people, most of the transgender people that I know and I respect and I follow and I like, they're like, hey, sit the fuck down. Like you're not making this better for us right now. But it's not what you're doing.
Hey, so I'll be with a group of guys somewhere. I mean, I can't think of anything in specific because it hasn't happened recently, but you'll be with a group of guys somewhere and there'll be 10 of you, you know, and you'll be like drinking somewhere and, you know, or eating dinner somewhere, and a girl will walk by and she's 15 years old and she's wearing a fucking tube dress with double D tits, but it's like clear she's a fucking kid, and one fucking idiot will say something.
Yeah.
Like, not so she can hear, but at the table. Well, the other fucking 9 guys are doing everything in their fucking power not to fucking address it, right? Because those are the fucking proper rules of society. Like, she cannot, like, as a grown man, you're not trying to make 15-year-old girls into sexual objects. You know what I mean? And then even if they're 17 or 18, like, you don't do that. But there is always a couple of those idiots in the fucking group. And
well, like for us, and Colleen and I just talked about this the other day, it's, you know, we have one bad experience with one dude as a woman, and now all dudes suck.
Yeah.
And
well,
honestly,
they're all capable of that. In that respect, they're all capable of that.
Oh, so maybe that's it. Maybe it's like you have that experience, even with the LGBTQ, even with, you have one bad experience with a white person, one bad experience with a black person. Now everybody's, God, that sucks.
Hey, and like I said, every single fucking video you see on the internet where kids are getting fucked with,
yeah,
nowadays, it's dudes.
Well, now here in the newspaper in New York, it's teachers. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Teachers are getting railed.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I was following that case. I've been following that. That's pretty crazy, right?
It's like all the teachers that were having inappropriate relations.
I know two teachers, a physics teacher and a biology teacher at my high school who were total pervs. I don't know if they ever did anything, but I didn't like the way they acted around the girls.
And I remember
I went to school with my my high school soccer coach was found to be sleeping and it being inappropriate with some of my teammates. I had gotten out, like I stopped playing soccer before all of this came to surface that something was going on.
Yeah.
But he was, you know, in his 20s and we were in high school. No, middle school, because I played for the senior team, the varsity team when I was in middle school. And he was inappropriately having relationships with a couple of the stars on our team. So it is happening and it is possible.
Were they just the stars? Like he didn't sleep with any of the fucking shit players?
He did not. It was only the stars.
Lucky you're good and you the coach. Yep.
And then that next year, he was gone.
Did he go to jail?
I don't know all the details. I had heard about it like when I was already completely out of the soccer scene. But when by the time I heard about it, he was already gone. So I don't know all the details about that, but
I had a couple older women hit on me when I was younger, like probably 16, 17, 18, and I liked it, but I was terrified. Hey, but like I would never, like, they would be like, hey, can we meet or can you come over? And I never would. I always had like excuses and shit.
Did you go through?
I would lead them on and shit.
Did you go through a phase where when you were younger, you liked older women, but then when you got, I don't know, into your late 20s or whatever, all of a sudden you found yourself dating younger women?
I don't think I ever dated younger women. I don't think I ever, maybe when I was 22, I dated like a 19-year-old or something. You know, not
that doesn't count.
Yeah, never. I stayed in my peer group. I was always pretty. Yeah, I was in my peer group. I was never in a situation where I wasn't in my peer group. Really.
Okay.
Yeah. No. I wish. But I mean, I do remember older women. Like,
I mean, I saw that picture of you with that hair, that luxurious, luscious hair that you had. And I was like, oh, well, my man.
Yeah, okay. I had crazy hair. I mean, yeah, life was good, but even when I was like 17 or 18, maybe there were a couple 30-year-old women, like just throughout, maybe even older 40-year-old women who like expressed interest in me, and I stayed very close to them and friends with them, but I was terrified of them. I would never have put myself in a position. Like I like the thought of them liking me and maybe being intimate with them, but when it actually came to it, there was no fucking way. So I was terrified. So I don't know why. I don't even know why. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I had it. I could articulate it.
We found out on one show that I think Jody Lynn told us this, but did you meet your wife while you were working at the home for special needs?
No. No, I first met my wife. She came over to my house with her friend because her friend was interested in one of my housemates. And
Oh, that's right.
And my friend lived in the garage. They converted the garage into this like really cool studio, and there were 2 guys who lived there, and they were like the 2 normal guys who lived in my house, and everyone else was fucking like me, was like batshit crazy. And I walked in, they came up the driveway, and they're like, "Hey, is Mark and so and so here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, who are these girls?" So I walk them back to where the garage is, and they go in there, and I'm just hanging out. My friend, these were like normal students, you know what I mean? Like they wore shoes and like were going to class and shit. And I was like, "Hey," I had this paper bag with a bottle of wine in it, and I'm like, "Hey, what's your name?" And she's like, "Haley." I'm like, "Hey, come with me. Let's go party."
Okay.
I'm like, "What? You don't like me or something?" Like I was like, just like, chatting her up. And then I think in hindsight, she said she was intrigued, but also terrified. Like, what the fuck is this thing? What is this creature? And then I don't think I saw her. I don't know. I didn't see her for like a year or 2, or like not like, you know what I mean? I didn't see her like, I mean, it was just, it's this town. Everyone knew everyone in this town. It was just a small town where everyone walked everywhere. And then there was a school, and it was just sat on the beach. It was UC Santa Barbara. And then basically, after that, I think what happened is then I had a girlfriend. One of my girlfriends at the time was looking for a roommate or something. And I had remembered this other girl, and I had heard she was looking for a roommate. So I just introduced the 2 of them. So I introduced Haley to my girlfriend. I'm like, "Hey, you guys should be friends and live together." And then they started living together. And then I was like, "Oh, well, shit, there's 2 girls now." Like I consolidated them. I can visit one place, and there's 2 girls that I like there. I think that's kind of how it happened. I don't really, I'd have to ask my wife. Women remember all those details.
Yes,
Mhm.
they do.
But then it became
I do.
Oh, then I told my girlfriend one day, I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna apply for this job at this home for disabled adults." And Haley, who lived in that house at the time, was like, "Hey, do you care if I apply there?" I'm like, "No, why would I care?" She's like, "Well, because you fucking are a homeless dude, and I'm fucking a college student, and like, I'm afraid I'm gonna take the job from you." I was like, "Fuck you."
It was love at first.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe
And then we both got our job there. 2 birds with 1 bone. Yeah. There are actually 5 girls in the house. So at that point, we both applied for a job there, and we both got the job there.
Okay.
And we both worked shitloads of hours, 40 hours a week, and so we both worked there for 5 years basically, and then I was around her all the time. Just
That's why
nonstop.
Jody said it.
Yeah.
That's why Jody said it, because I met Colleen because she was working with my uncle that has special needs via, what was it called? UCP?
UCP. Yeah.
And so it was like a crazy like coincidence story. Did you ever, like, I'd ask, because Colleen and I talked about it on your show, but did you ever have an incident where there was a behavior and somebody grabbed somebody or hurt somebody or?
Oh, dude, the place was violent as fuck.
Mhm.
Crazy shit happened there.
Mhm.
Dudes chasing me around with chairs, me fighting big autistic dudes, someone taking one of those steel things off a stove and fucking throwing them, cops coming. Dude, it was crazy. You're living with 8 adults who are fucking drugged to the fucking gills, who are horny as fuck, but no one wants to fuck them. It was it was on. Well, I don't know, at least once a week there was some sort of like, "Oh shit, it's on."
Yep.
Someone gets grabbed by the hair, some staff, and thrown on the ground. 4 staff have to jump on the guy. Then on the count of 3, you're like, "Let go," and everyone runs. You're out with them, and they have a fucking meltdown in 7-Eleven, and they're just ripping open bags of Doritos, and the cops come, and it was just people starting fires. Yeah, it was crazy. Crazy, crazy shit.
Yeah. I never experienced it to that extreme. I was in a situation where I was grabbed by the hair by one of the guys, and he was bigger than me.
Yeah.
And tried to call for other staff to come and help me, and nobody did. And I thought I was going through the wall. Like I was this close to, but he let my hair go, and I was fine. But I never got to see and experience that extreme. We learned all about it. Like we had to obviously be trained how to do takedowns and that kind of stuff. But
we
I
had all
never
that training
experienced
too.
that. Yeah. I think probably, babe, I probably experienced more, like, I guess, outburst behaviors with Thomas James now, since not working with him. That's probably when I've seen the most like behaviors. So
yeah, they woke me up to come get him because they were like, hey, he's my sister's uncle. So they woke me up to come get him because they're like, hey, and I was like, get him how? He flipped an entire oak table. What do you want me to do in this exact scenario? Like,
and
I know I'm
to the house
taller.
and Colleen was there?
Yeah, we were all there.
Mhm.
Yeah, everybody was there. And it's all women. Like all of us are women.
Were you dating at the time, Colleen?
Yeah.
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 You guys had already been dating.
We were married.
Oh, you were married. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever tell him the story of how fast we got married?
Yeah, I think I've told you how fast we.
Yeah.
Yep,
we Home Depot'd it. It was amazing.
You hauled it, honey.
How long have you been married now?
Almost 13 years.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep.
Good job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's
Thank you.
awesome.
Hey, I really wanted to ask you this because we can get going on so many tangents, but I want to show you this just so you know what I'm talking about. But you did a bit on your show, or you talked about this on your show. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I really wanted to like this guy.
You want it? Well, that's where I want to go. You wanted
really
to
want to like this guy. Yeah.
In the beginning,
understand his shit from like one dad to another.
Right. But by the end of the bit that you were doing, you had talked yourself out of it and you didn't want to you were like, I can't interview him anymore. I'm curious why that was, because you genuinely had questions when you started talking about it. And by the end, you were just like, I can't do it.
So there's all the correlates, right? She got the purple hair. She got the septum ring.
The mom.
Yeah. And like, I just picture, once again, those people you can be my friends. Like, I don't care if you have people think that I care. I don't care if you have a septum ring. I don't care if you drink 10 Cokes a day. I don't care. Like, it's your life. I don't care if you have purple hair, but I just I just picture myself sitting at home and the things that I would get up to do. And I just can't imagine getting up and going to like the store and asking some guy, hey, can you punch a hole in my septum and hang something from it? And so I just wonder what the thoughts are of someone who would want to do that, or take my time of my precious life and go to CVS and get purple hair. And then, of course, I see all the correlates of the people who do that. And so I start to build like a story in my head of like, okay, this whole group of people who has purple hair also thinks it's okay for men to to change in front of the women's college team. So I start making those associations. But outside of that, that's fine. And then I think of what I would want from my mom. I think every kid just wants a fucking normal mom. And what's a normal mom? Just someone who's really stable. That's all you want. You just want fucking stability as a kid. You want a mom who wakes up at the same time every day, fucking hugs you. If she hits you, you want to know why. It's predictable. It's because you fucking drank the last cup of milk and she flipped out. Like, you just want a stable fucking mom, right? And a stable dad. That's all you want, so that your shit's stable. You didn't
want to ask him questions as like what got him there, like why he.
So there's all that, right? But soon as she said, there were like 3 things she said that made it so I'm like, okay, I get it. I don't need to know anymore, and I don't know if it's my job. The things were, we followed our kids' lead.
Yeah.
Like, so you buy your kids chocolate and don't make him learn math because he doesn't want to. You follow your kid's lead. Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. He asked for a dress and we got him one, and I dressed him up like a girl. I dressed him up in the dress. Like, that's not a reason. My kid asked for a fucking million things every fucking day. One of my kids asked to be Elsa. One of my kids have asked to own a gun. One of my kids have asked if they can have an iPad. One of my kids have asked, can I have an iWatch? I mean, but but you thought for some reason that it would help him if you bought him a dress and dressed him in a dress and you followed his lead. Then there was they're CrossFitters, but they're showing you squirting a can of whipped cream, the kid, because
Oh yeah, kind of like a
right,
Nickelodeon
right,
situation.
because you follow your kid's lead. And here's the thing. It's not like my kids have never squirted a can of whipped cream in their mouth. It's not like they didn't, but it's just I started seeing all these things compiled and there was nothing else more I needed to know. They have
Gotcha.
a man, they have a fucking man in the house who's not fucking leading the fucking house. And they have they're not raising their kids. They're letting their kid raise themselves, and they're being codependents for their kid's own mental instability. And there's just and she talks about in that video about how it's going to be hard on her kid. You just told us you did it. You just told us you took. So as soon as I started hearing all that, I just thought to myself, I'm not the guy to. I mean, I'd love to, if he came on your show, that'd be awesome. I'd love to watch it. I'm not the guy to interview him. That's like where I have like I'm not open enough. I think I know too much.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think I know the mechanism in which their kids got fucked up, and I just think I know too much. Maybe, I mean, shit, if he called me, he's like, hey, dude, I want to come on your show and talk about it, I'd be like, okay. You know what I mean? It's not, I don't hate those people or anything, but I think I know exactly what fucking happened.
Right.
They did it. They fucked their kid. They weren't ready to be parents. They didn't figure out what it meant to be a parent. They don't understand like the deeper mechanisms of psychology and why people do the things they do. And if your boy wants to wear a dress, you just ignore them. You ignore them. You treat it like if they wanted to smoke one of your cigarettes that you left on the table. You just ignore them. It's like a nothing. You just create space.
Because then I wanted to show you this and get your reaction to this.
My wife bought my boys an Elsa doll because he wanted an Elsa doll. And so now I have to not react. You know what I mean? Like I have to be smart. Like the first this was a long time ago.
Right.
And they eventually tore her clothes off. You know, after like 6 months, she was naked. Then I was like, all right, we're good.
Boy things.
Yeah, I'm good. And that's the other thing. That's the other thing too, because we have so much autism now, and there's a direct link between this autism and this transgender and the gay stuff. It's like, those people who fall into that category, they're already pretty much can be anything or anything. They're just looking to fit in. They're looking to just mirror shit and figure out society. Like you're autistic and you become aware you're autistic. You're like, fuck, I got to fucking figure out some shit so I can like surf through this shit. And like, why make that harder on them? Why introduce them to things? Like, I think that those things are being programmed into those people with not bad intentions, but the wrong intentions. Sorry, what were you gonna show me? Sorry.
No. I'm gonna show it to you. Yes, Jethro, the phone line is open, and Papa Birch said, "Careful, Sevan." The autistic thing. I'm assuming if I'm wrong, Birch.
But also with that too, we talk about it all the time. You know, since our son got diagnosed as being autistic, we like to share that information as information, as a heads up, just so you know. It might take Garrett a little bit longer to understand something because he's autistic, but please don't not teach him. Please don't, not guide him or set boundaries with him, and understand like he has a very hard time when he thinks that he's done something wrong and consequences. But for us, it doesn't mean like don't stop giving him consequences, because that's life. He still needs to learn that there's safety, there's consequences, there's boundaries, there's no, like it means no. And like, it's kind of are you saying that's kind of like the same thing? Like, just because there is this correlation with autism.
I don't think that autistic people have a greater chance of being gay. Let's just say that like you can be born being gay, right? I don't think autistic people are more likely to be gay than straight people being born being gay. And then let's say there's another group of people who, through their upbringing, they become gay. And I do think autistic people would be easier to take that path if it would be easier to influence to take down that path.
Mhm.
I think that they would be so much easier. So much easier. There's like this kid-like quality to them for longer. I think they eventually outgrow it. I mean, depending on how high functioning they are.
Right.
Have you guys seen that movie, The Chosen?
I've the series you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So
they don't say it.
episodes.
Well, they don't say it, but Matthew's autistic. If you know autistic people, like you see it right away. He's blatantly, overtly autistic.
Yeah.
And he's also the tax collector. And although he knows it's wrong, he knows it's wrong because the other Jews tell him what he did is wrong, but he doesn't really know it's wrong because he's like he's transcended that shit because he's autistic. He's like deeper than they think that he's fucked up because he's doing more worldly shit, but he's really deeper than them. He's not fucking caught up in the emotional aspect of it. He's just fucking fully intellectualizing it. Like, yeah, this path is going to be cool. If I'm a tax collector, I'm going to make money. You should check it out. You should watch it. You would trip on this character. If that dude is not really autistic, he's the most amazing actor I've ever seen. I don't know how he does that. Right? Do you agree with me? He's 100% autistic. They're portraying Matthew as having autism.
I think so.
But
she hasn't watched it. I watched it.
Yeah. They took an artistic license on Matthew Sevan. I don't know. Maybe he was autistic. I don't fucking know. I mean, he's a great character. He's become like my favorite person in the show. Yeah.
Do we actually? Is there a caller? Jethro, is that you? Are you here? Did it not work? It's on. Hold on.
Oh, I'm so happy your phone's a shit show too.
Oh, always.
We get one lucky call.
Yeah,
like
Jethro, are you there?
Every 10 times.
Do you think your son is easily influenced? That you guys can influence him easy?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah, very. Yeah.
Very, very, very.
Yeah.
What? You there, bro? What's up?
Yo,
Yeah.
I think you were
predators are more likely to come after autistic people than fucking the predators should be kept even more away from the autistic people.
I mean, that's what we're trying to keep our kids super close to us for as long as we possibly can.
Yeah. I was just looking, Jeffrey said careful and Teresa said oof. I'm like, I don't know. I can't even imagine what you're referencing. I don't even know. Like I didn't say anything even remotely negative.
You're saying they're more easily influenced. All right, hold on. We'll get there. We'll go.
Yeah. Way more easily influenced.
Yes, for sure. Okay, Jethro, what's up, bud? What's going on?
Guys, I'm old. I didn't fall off the turnip truck. I work with autistic people for fucking. I lived with them for I don't know how many years, 10 years or 5 years or whatever. Not stupid.
Go ahead. What's up, Jet? Before my phone decides not to work.
That video that was posted all around with the guy's son, became the daughter, whatever it was, it really pissed me off because that guy did such damage to that poor kid, and then he ties it into the CrossFit Open and his gym. It's like, let people make the decisions for themselves if they want to do it. If they want to put a stance on not doing it for whatever reason, for CrossFit HQ, how they handle stuff. And my son used to want to dresses and skirts. We didn't buy it for him. What we did is let him decide how he wanted to express himself. And he took handkerchiefs and napkins and put it.
Oh.
Yeah, Jethro. My son makes jewelry like a motherfucker. And I buy him all the jewelry kits and the pink rubber bands and the chainmail kits, and I buy him all the strings. He's got all
around. And now he's super successful, even though he's still in high school with dance. And listen, if he became a girl male dancer on that stage a lot, that family again should be arrested.
Hey, Jethro.
It's criminal.
Jethro. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
he can hear me.
Yeah, he's going in now.
Can you hear me? Christ, what are you in a wind tunnel?
I got you.
Hey, so my kid is one of my sons is the best kid ever at cartwheels. And after class, when the boys are running around playing tag, he's with the girls doing cartwheels, back handsprings. He always points his toes after every fucking movement. I bought him all the jewelry kits. He's got the ones with rubber bands and the strings and all that shit. I'm not. I think I'm on the same page as you. I have no issues with them doing things. He loves to cook. He's the kid that cooks. He makes all the pancakes in the morning, the eggs, all that. He's weird about touch too. Like anytime I give the kids affection, my other boys just want affection nonstop. With this kid, it has to be on his terms, which is fine. But like I'm always like in the wing, like, hey, when's my time to fucking run in and hug you and fucking smother you? But I get it. I get it. And that was the kid that wanted to wear a dress too. But I think it was just in 2 weeks he was over it. And it never turned to crying or anything I butted heads with. I just didn't react to it.
He's not. Let me just.
He's right here. He's in the comments.
Okay.
He's walking the dogs. That's probably.
Yeah, he was
why.
outside. Yeah. We just had a snowstorm. There's shit. Everything's happening around here right now.
Fuck your dogs. You ever watch Dave Chappelle do the Rick James thing?
I haven't seen it.
Couch. Fuck
you. Oh
your
yeah.
Oh my god. That was with Charlie Murphy. Charlie Murphy. Yeah.
I lost what we were talking about before, but I want to bring this up. It's kind of this.
What they did to their kids, just their kids, and like, hey, like I don't want to shower those people with hate, but I do think that I only want to shower those people with love, even. But I do think that I think that they're a bad example for society. I think they took a bad path. I think that they didn't do their kids justice. I didn't like their explanation of how it ended up that way. And so I like, and I really don't understand. I really don't like that guy even acknowledges in the comments that basically he said, like someone said, I think it was him, time to wake up in 2025, transgender women, whatever the fucking words are women. Like transgender women are women. It's 2025. And that's his argument, which means that he knows the truth, that he just wants us to accept it because it's a cool thing to do. And I agree. It is the cool thing to do, but it's not the fucking right thing. It is not. It's like, you know what else is really cool? Just going to the pound and getting puppies, and then after a year throwing them away when they're not puppies and getting new ones, and just always having puppies. That's really cool.
The first thing that was cool to do. The first thing that was cool to do was white people adopting black kids, right? Like that was the have the little.
Talking about Willis.
You know what I mean? That was yes.
I
absolutely different strokes for different folks, baby. But here, no, let me just play this for you.
What was the one with the little midget black dude? Did he have a white family? Michael Jackson really liked them.
Yeah.
Wilson, Carl, Gilbert.
I don't remember that one. That one was a little.
Do you know what I'm talking about? He's a little tiny black.
Yeah, he used to hang out with Michael all the time, and it was weird because it looked like Michael had a kid like sitting on his lap, but it wasn't a kid.
Webster, thank you. God, I'm so bad with names. Jeez.
Sandone, good job. Way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. All right. Let me play this for you. I want your reaction to this because Colleen and I had a crazy reaction to it.
It says something that I think people are missing, or they're not talking about it enough. Roll the clip.
May not have thought of is that there's a lot of people who can't move on this, because that's the people who've transitioned their own children. So those people are going to be like, the Japanese soldiers who were on Pacific Islands and didn't know the war was over.
Right.
They've got to fight forever. This is another reason why this is the worst social contagion that we'll ever have experienced. A lot of people have done the worst thing that you could do, which is to harm their children irrevocably because of it. Those people will have to believe that they did the right thing for the rest of their lives, for their own sanity and for their own self-respect. So they'll still be fighting. And each one of those people destroys entire organizations and entire friendship groups. And now you can't talk truth in front of that person. And you can't, because what you're saying is you as a parent have done a truly human rights abuse level of awful thing to your child.
This is
every time I hear that, it just hits me right in the chest.
So we all know someone who came to terms with it. who transitioned their fucking kid and has publicly said,
yeah, Elon.
and he's blaming someone for it, and he's going after him. And I don't think he should be blamed. Like, I assume, let me tie this into Dave Castro and Lazar. I assume he's blaming himself just as much. He's just not talking about it. I assume that Elon is gutted inside the same way I assume Dave is gutted inside. And so we have a man who's fucking taken a knee because he's fucking rocked. He has a hole in his soul. And the rest of us are like, holy fuck. We just saw this dude just fumble like a motherfucker. And we know he's a good fucking person. We know Elon's a fucking great person. He's contributed so much to humanity. We know Dave's a fucking great human. He's contributed so much to the fucking health of this planet. And people are not giving him a hand up. They're not supporting him. And so Elon's going to war. And if they make fucking Dave the CEO of fucking CrossFit, he's gonna fucking go. Like, God, I hope the fucking board wakes up. Pardon me, I've reached a point where it's like, hey, I hope he just fucking like starts his own thing so I can just fucking jump on board with it, or they fucking make him the CEO, because I'm so ready. Like, I'm so ready to go to war with these fucking idiots. And that's what Elon's done. He fucking transitioned his kid because they told him, if you don't transition your kid's gonna kill himself. So he thought he was fucking doing the right thing, and now he's fucking hurt. He's more he has a.
There's nothing left for him to hit him in the chest. Nothing is gonna hurt more.
Yeah.
Words are not gonna hurt more.
Kill him. Yeah, he doesn't even care if they kill him. He's even talked about that. And so here's the thing: we're seeing a guy walk around with a fucking sword in his side, and he can't fucking pull it out. He's just damaged goods. And so the best we can do is point him at our targets and let him fucking attack.
I give him more credit than anything, though, because his kid didn't detransition. So the parents that are actually waking up and like,
what do you mean, Elon?
Yeah, Elon's kid did not detransition. Right. But the parents that are going to
research that kid, is that kid in the public? Sorry to keep interrupting you.
No, you're fine.
Is that kid in the public? How old is that kid? I don't know. I've never looked into the kid. I've never even looked into the story. If the story's true, I just believed Elon.
It's around 18. The kid's around 18, I think. 18, 19, something like that.
And it was a boy turned into a girl, or a girl turned into a boy?
Boy turned into a girl.
Do you know the name?
I don't know his name or her name, whatever.
I
wonder if one is worse.
One is which, like, transitioning wise?
Yeah, like I wonder like, aren't we like all women, but some of us grow a bigger clit or something? Aren't all of us like, aren't we really just one and then it turns into the other? Like, aren't we all, there's so
the whole fight is biology,
that, but aren't we one and then eventually, like at some point, you become a dude or you become a chick? We're all born girls or something.
Yeah, you either like you in the mother, you start off as a girl. It's
when the zygote hits, we're all girls.
And then when the sperm hits,
it gets big and you drop it. The ovaries drop on the outside.
You either get like small genitals or large genitals, and then you're a boy or a girl. What, Jeremy? Why are you upset? Why are you upset, Jeremy?
Can you fucking believe? Is that what 1999 means?
Yeah, use your words. I need your words. What are your words?
I believe Jake Chapman's coming on my show tomorrow to be interviewed. No, Tuesday.
Speaking of penis.
Yeah, I have to pee. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. I've lived my entire life. What am I at right now? 43. So 42 years of my life, I've lived without having penis in my DMs. And now there's nothing. That Jake Chapman getting on Instagram is like Russian roulette over here. Like, but yeah, I'm very excited for Jake coming on the.
What's up, Jen?
Men are just a cervix and ovaries. Yeah, yes, I saw that shit too. And when I actually saw the drawing of it, the way it looks in us and then the way it looks outside of them, like, yes, you're right. That's amazing. That's fair. I rather like it on the inside more than anything, but yeah, front tails. Yeah, Judy Reed. What's up? What's up, girl? Where's the judge? I saw him at the beginning of the show. How's the judge?
How's the judge?
We love the judge.
The daughter is 20. That's what I just found.
Okay.
Elon's
yeah, I knew
20.
Yeah.
Yeah, that video is insane. A lot of people do that to themselves. They dig themselves a hole or they do something and then they have to defend it the rest of their life.
But
Sucks.
the parents that have detransitioned kids,
Mhm.
they're coming to grips with it and they're understanding and they're at least like talking it out and kind of understanding what went wrong, understanding how they got into this mess and whatever. But those parents whose kids aren't detransitioning, they're gonna have to die on that hill. And that's
What about Brianna? What about Brianna?
Which one?
So,
Who?
Brianna from my chat. I don't know if she comes over here, but
Oh, she came
Brianna,
on my show.
okay, so Brianna,
Yeah.
her parents gave her let her take I think some parents like I think my parents are just like completely like oblivious. Like they were just working, 60 hours a week trying to make ends meet, put food on, and if the doctor said to give me Vicodin or to remove a toe or to give my sister the pill or just whatever, they just went along, and still to this day they're just like, yeah, that's just the way it was then. And Brianna's parents let her take
Yeah, I think she talked about it. I know what you're
something suppressant, something whatever.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Not antidepressant. It's something that like postpones your puberty.
Yeah.
Whatever
Oh,
the- puberty postponement drugs. Oh, I just made that.
Oh, no, I did not know that.
Yeah, she said that, and then she came off of them at some point, and it's like, and now I'm even thinking, can you imagine fucking letting your daughter take even the pill? Like now that we're CrossFitters and we know what hormones are, and like you let someone you took hormones, like Andrew Hiller takes hormones.
mhm.
Yeah.
A good
Grown
friend of
ass
mine-
men take hormones. You don't give hormones to your
Yes.
16-year-old daughter. You out of your fucking mind?
Well, they're giving the pill for everything for girls. If you have acne, you're getting pills. If you have very difficult periods, you're on the pill. It's for all these things. A really good friend of mine, she was on the pill for years. I think she started when she was like 12 or 13 or something like that because she
All
was
the girls, I think. Yeah.
Yep. And then she got off of it because she wanted to have, a baby. She's married. She wanted to have a baby. And she went through 2 miscarriages. And the doctor said she had to go through a 3rd one before they were even going to intervene and try to look into blood work and her gut health and her body, her immune system, and all these type of things and whatever. But it is a direct correlation to how long she was on the pill for, because they don't talk to you about that. They don't talk to you that the body is supposed to naturally, for a woman, is supposed to naturally go into puberty, and it's supposed to naturally have a period every single month. That's what our bodies are made for. She started when she got on the pill, they're considered synthetic periods. So they're not real because you can't get pregnant because your hormones are so fucked up from these pills. But they're giving these pills to these young girls very, very young without any sort of conversation about what are the long-term ramifications. And I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Why can't we talk about the actions that you take right now have consequences potentially later on in life? Like I hear that too. Well, you can't talk about hormone blockers because it's not going to affect them later. Of course it's going to affect them later. Like, but why can't we talk about what you do now that could have a long-term effect?
And letting your kid have unfettered access to whipped cream spraying in your mouth will affect your kid's hormones 100%. There's already a whole cohort of boys who get so fat that their balls never drop. And that's it. Once you cross that line, like you make your kid so fat by the age of 5 and your balls don't drop, that's it. You're fucked. That it doesn't like you can fuck a boy so easy. I probably should be careful how I word that.
Yeah, that was not
That was not.
no, that was not the right.
Hey, too, you could interrupt the boy's hormonal growth so easy if you just gave him unfettered access to cotton candy from like you're feeding him Mountain Dew in his bottle and let him survive on cotton candy and hot dogs until you could really I see it around my area all the time. I see these little kids, 3 to 6-year-old Mexican kids, and they weigh 100 pounds. They're like little balls. You just see them in places.
Yeah.
I saw a little boy yesterday. I took
Same thing.
I took G out to IHOP for some pancakes for like a fun Saturday or whatever. And this little boy got out and he probably was the same age, if not younger than G.
Yeah.
And he is much shorter than him. And he was very heavy, and it made me very, very sad.
Yeah, you can completely screw up their hormones with sugar. I mean, basically, that's food. You're when you eat food, your body reacts hormonally.
Wait, hold on. Where is Jake?
That's the
Jake,
thing. They need to instead of calling it birth control, they just need to call it what it is. Hormone 7YX3 that fucks with women's hormones, but you won't get pregnant. Like, it's like, at least I saw Jeremy posted, the word I was looking for is puberty blockers. At least that, like, soon as you hear that word, I feel like a sane person goes, wait a second. Because there's the two things who make you who you are: being born and then going through puberty. Like, those are two like huge fun, like biological. I'm not talking about like your parents are rich or poor, you get beaten or not, but like just the two biological things. You're born, your dad rails your mom, and then you go through, you're born, then you go through puberty. Those got to be like massive. Those are massive.
You can't take that away.
Milestones. Yeah. And we know what they do. Like, if you don't want the baby, you kill the baby, you abort the baby. And then puberty blockers. And that just sounds
I'm not giving my kid meds.
The first thing, when he was first diagnosed as ADHD, before he got his autism.
Your son?
Yes. Yeah. Before he got his autism diagnosis, he was considered a diagnosed ADHD. And the first thing the doctor said was, "Oh, you want to put him on medicine?" No.
How do they diagnose that?
Yeah. We go through a bunch of questions. They get the teachers to fill out a questionnaire. We fill out a questionnaire, and then it's pretty much all put into a system, and then he's given a number. And
so it's a survey. They can't take my blood.
No.
So like if I had one leg and I went to the doctor and I'm like, no, I got two legs, they'd be like, okay, so he's delusional and he has one leg.
Yeah.
So ADHD is just survey.
Well, that
no scientific proof of its existence.
No, not that I know of. I mean, they came and observed him, or it was funky because it was during COVID. So it was like a Zoom meeting. So it was like,
that was for speech when he first got for speech.
Yeah.
So he was speech delayed. He wasn't really talking
he really
and saying
was,
much.
Yeah.
And then went to school and started saying a little bit more, got speech therapy, all that type of stuff. And then ADHD was first. And that was like from observing him, interacting with him, questionnaires for us, questionnaires for the teachers and other people that he spent time with. Like, at that time, he was still doing speech and OT and PT. So, and then we gave them all the information, and then he was first diagnosed with that. And then he saw a psychologist, and then he got diagnosed as autistic. Yeah, behavior.
Yes. So is he still diagnosed with autism and ADHD?
Yeah. I mean, you can
primarily
tell
autism.
if you listen to your twins, how they articulate themselves and how they can like have a conversation with you and retain what you're saying and speak back to you. He's not even close to that.
From the autism or the ADHD?
I think it's from the autism and from just being speech delayed in general. I get what you're saying about the ADHD.
Yeah.
I think he's just, that's why we've never given him anything.
That's why I'm not giving him meds.
We're not giving him meds. He's just a boy that's hyper, doesn't want to sit. He's got some like regulatory, not behavioral, but regulatory issues.
What's that mean?
Just, he doesn't quite like have control over his body. Like, he can't just sit up in a chair and stay there. Like, he's got to just move.
He slides.
His feet. He just
legs come up.
Stuff like that. How
old is he?
7.
7. He's about the same age as your boys. He'll be 8 in April.
I have a boy who can't keep his hands out of his mouth.
No, that's his nose and his pants.
My kids.
I mean, he found it. He totally found it.
Avi went through the nose thing. The nose thing was crazy. The nose thing.
Get your hand, get your finger out of your fucking.
Did you ever see him do 2 at once?
No, only one.
Just
Thank
one.
God.
But it's both nostrils. Like, it's one hand. It's one hand, both nostrils though.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. But I've seen digging in both. I'm like, hey, dude, I've been trying to be so cool, but not you. There's no, I can't do it anymore. He's like, what? I'm like, you can't pick both at the same time. I have my limits of what I can tolerate.
Yeah.
Like, all right. And he used to have a God. That was a crazy period. I forgot about that.
But
But one of
Teresa,
my kids can't
this
keep
is
his
true.
fingers out of his mouth. It's so trippy.
But this is the thing too. Went through hell with my son's school as a child. I did not bark up the ADHD tree until he matured. Boys move. That's the thing too, because
My boys can't stay still.
they
Yeah.
can't
boys-
sit
Same thing.
still.
My
And-
one that has the female attributes of like interested, he can stay still. The other two, fuck no.
But also the problem too, at least with Garrett and his school, is everything's on an iPad. They have to
I don't like that.
sit.
Yeah.
They sit all day. They don't have scheduled get up time. I mean, the teachers do the best they can in the room that they have. You got to think about it. You got 20 kids in a room.
Colleen's about to go into the school and actually start doing a
Like a break, like a movement break in the morning, because he has in his class, I think it's like 2 or 3 hours where it's just them doing curriculum, and they cannot, there's no movement. They're just doing work. You know what I mean? And all of these kids just, they can't sit still. But like you said, they're not supposed to.
Every day since my kids have been 2 years old, I've said this to my wife. Okay, I got to get them fucking out. Like there is a point every day in my house where shit becomes so intense that like
Yes.
we got to go outside. And as soon as I get them outside, it's over. It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
yeah.
fuck.
Anything.
Anything. But it's just, I just got to be outside. Hey, I'm taking them out. Where are you going? I don't know. I don't care. It's raining. I don't give two fucks.
Nope. We're going to find someplace.
Yeah, we're out of here. Bring your raincoat. We're out.
Yep.
It's
And then
been
I
a
take-
little
Yeah.
It's been a little better since we got the puppy, because now he has kind of like, he's excited about the responsibility of the puppy. So he'll take the puppy out, walk the puppy, take her to go.
But even the two of them at home, it's fine. They're
But
just playing and moving
it's
and whatever.
nonstop,
But
yeah.
it's nonstop.
Yeah.
But it's good for him.
Too. They have each other. It's nonstop.
That's awesome.
They beat up on each other. Each other
Non
on the side of the head.
non-stop. And I have a really high tolerance for it's interesting. I have a really high tolerance for the violence. My wife does not have a tolerance for that at all. So
Winter's the worst because their play is not outside; it's inside.
It's all indoor
When
recess.
It's New York. It sucks. It's like 5 months of winter. So like,
And he's sitting and coloring during recess time.
yes, Standy public
like,
school.
That's the part for us. It's like he's literally sitting all day, and then they're sending the iPad home for school or for homework. And I'm like, I don't want you sitting on a freaking iPad all day, every day. You know, it's just.
So I was just out of town for nearly a month, like 26 days. And during that entire 26 days, my kids had unfettered access to iPad and 3 Switches, Nintendo Switches. And unfettered access to TV for 27 days as we just moved around the country, you know, Arizona, Newport, whatever. And I watched their behavior deteriorate. And we came home and I took all that shit away. And now it's, you know, the first day they asked for it, second day they asked for a little less, third day stop asking for it. And now they haven't had it for however long I've been back, another month or whatever since I've been back. But I until we leave the house again for another field trip, they don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, that shit is not good.
Yeah.
I mean, it keeps them busy. And I like it. They're interested in games and they learned a bunch of shit and their hand-eye coordination is fun, but that shit is not good.
But that's the thing. It's different if it's like a fun, you know, like I remember playing Mario Kart. That was one of my favorite fucking games. It's
they love
fun.
that. Yeah.
Play for a little while and then you keep it moving. But all of these games are it's so much, you know.
Those are the only two they play, Mario Kart and tennis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they love fucking Mario Kart.
Yep.
But literally they could get up at 7 and play it till 7 at night.
Oh yeah.
It's like fucking, it's crazy.
Yep. Yeah.
I've learned I don't have to read everything out loud because we're just on YouTube. We're not on just a like.
We're not on Spotify or anything.
Why aren't you doing Spotify?
I don't know, because I haven't figured out how to do it, and I just I'm still small team, bro.
Yeah.
I have to do research.
Okay.
Buzzsprout.
Go to Buzzsprout.
I'm hoping to get into Sousa's little
brand
Sousa
new
and
project.
Peter's little.
Oh yeah.
Agency thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Project.
Do
Yeah.
that.
he wasn't. I had to pull my brother out, or my mom had to pull my brother out of school recently. He wasn't learning anything, so now he goes to a place that specializes in teaching autistic kids. Yeah, that's a problem. Sandy is like, our kid is that smart. Like, our kid loves school. He loves to learn. He's like, I don't know, a 4th grade math. Like,
He's very good in math.
I mean, his memory is stupid. He has that like Rain Man memory where you can show him one thing one time, and
Yeah, he needs to be put in an accelerated program.
there's
All
some
he's doing is fucking math and getting skill acquisition.
For math, yeah.
It's-
Reading is a little bit farther behind for him, but I'm like,
but not even reading. It's the social comprehension of the story. Just like it for him, it's the social comprehension of having a conversation with you.
and
Why it
socializing.
would be so easy to put one of those fuckers in a dress and fucking
Right.
confuse them because they don't have the social comprehension.
That's exactly what he
Yeah,
is.
like
You got to watch The Chosen, dude. This Matthew character will blow you away. He has no social comprehension at all. You just nailed it. I didn't know what the words were. He has no social comprehension.
Yeah.
He's completely efficient and logical. He's like Spock.
Have you ever seen Big Bang Theory?
No.
Sheldon. I call him Little Sheldon. It's
Okay.
that's exactly who he is.
Yeah.
He's a sweetheart. He cares about everybody. He wants to help everybody. He's a people pleaser. He just has no social comprehension with the
if someone tells a joke, for instance, all the kids laugh at it. G will continue to tell the same joke over and over and over because he wants the same response that the other kid did.
Yeah, because that's logical, right? You pull this button and then this happens. So you just tell this joke and they laugh.
Yeah. And so he wants that type of reaction. And then everyone's looking at him like, dude, the joke's over. You know what I mean? And he doesn't know that.
Yeah.
He doesn't get that. Like, you know.
He told the kid when your kids did your mama jokes.
Yeah.
Or whatever. He told those like 15 times to me. Because he remembered every one of them.
Wow.
But but his delivery, right? Like there's a timing to comedy. There's like a facial expression to comedy. He just says it all in one humongous sentence at one speed.
Yeah.
And so it just sounds like he's making fun of your mama. Like, you know what I mean? Or you're so fat. But yeah. Last thing before you go, because I want to go be fat and watch the Super Bowl and sit on my couch and eat things I shouldn't eat tonight. But I gotta know, dude, what is your Jillian Michaels hate happening right now? I feel like she's coming to the light. She's seen the light. Is it just because she shit on CrossFit? And I get it. I understand if that's why it is. And shit on your boy. Like
maybe I'm open to it being unjust and showing lack of compassion and not being fair or forgiving. I'm open to that. She lived in California. She is a lesbian. She, she'll go through and tell you she checked all the boxes. She adopted the black kid. She was on that show, The Biggest Loser. And then she, I think her house got robbed.
Yep.
And she's like, fuck the libtards. No,
and she got shit on, got called the white savior because she tried to help kids in Africa. And then all the black people was like, stop being a white savior.
Oh. So, wow, Jeff totally knows me. Sevan, are you having ribeye or salami? I'm having both. Yesterday after the UFC, there was salami and ribeye out on the table. But Greg said it perfectly the other day. Before all these other things start, and so here's this thing, CrossFit. We all know what it is. The bottom of the pyramid is nutrition, and then everything else up from there is movement. We had this incredible leader who just kept saying the same thing over and over and kept reinventing different phrases, different cues for what would help us. The cure for the world's most vexing problem, off the carbs, off the couch. He just kept saying came up with the zone diet, explained the hormonal, you want to keep you eat all your macronutrients at the same proportions and keep your hormones level because all disease comes from fucking hormones that do this. And there was we've been doing that just for 20 years. I'm fully like indoctrinated and bought into the cult. And now she's jumping on board with the newest trend that's get rid of red dye 20 or pharma's bad or fuck the libtards. And maybe for speaking to a certain crowd, she's going to help convert some people. But like, hey dude, the most profound movement in the world that actually gets to the root problem of what's bothering you is CrossFit. And you shit on it. And now you're like the poster child hanging out with Callie Means and these fucking idiots who like really like when the left was saying if you work out, it'll make you conservative. That's 100% true.
Yeah.
Because the more you work out, the less you rely on other people for help. The more healthy you are, the less you rely on doctors or other people helping you, and so you become more independent. And so you like going back to what we said originally. You don't take away the rights of individuals and give them to groups. You're more independent. You're more self-sufficient. That's what a conservative is. You're more helpful to other people. And when I see her, I guess I get triggered by the fact that like, hey, you went right from fucking being a full-blown libtard, LA, and then she left. She didn't even stay and fight the fight in California,
Yeah,
So
I've heard you say that before. You're like,
so she leaves, and now she's Sevan, can you say what is negative about her message? I don't know if there is anything negative about her message, but it's completely missing the point. And thank you for getting me back on target, Teresa. It's completely missing the point.
I was gonna let him go.
The point
He
is,
would have gotten there eventually.
the point is that there are 10,000 gyms in 140 countries, and then it's all free on the internet because the vast majority of us who started CrossFit in 2008, 2009, 2007, 2006, we all got it for free off the internet. We didn't fucking go to affiliates. We all had to do it on our own. The answer and the cure for what's going on planet Earth right now is there. And you don't need to fight Big Pharma at all if everyone just went to CrossFit, because they would go away because no one would be buying their shit. They're bringing shit to market that people want and think they need, and so people are buying it. That's all that's happening. It's just fucking capitalism. She's going to be the same fucking moron who's going to be like, I fucking hate Coke and let's tax Coke. That's not the problem. There's never going to be a solution there unless you put everyone in fucking jail. The solution is that we need places where people can come to terms with what's fucking going on by themselves and be like, okay, if I don't need drugs, if I don't need doctors, if I don't need this stuff, it'll go away. That's the only way it's going to go away. No matter how much bad shit we say about Ozempic and say that it's Europe's largest, most profitable company, even though it's in Denmark and the Denmark country doesn't let people there take it. That's how bad it is. It doesn't matter. Bitches want to lose weight. Fat motherfuckers want to lose weight. And so people are going to keep buying it. Or you could just talk about CrossFit and you could give people the fucking real answer so they could get control over their life. And so she's jumped on this train. I'm not suggesting that there's anything negative, but it's almost like misdirection. Who gives a fuck about microplastics and all of that shit when you already don't know that it's don't eat refined carbohydrates and get off the couch?
So you're more pissed at her about the CrossFit thing and the weight loss thing.
It's just everything. Like maybe I'm jealous of her. Why? I mean, pick your word. Why does she get a voice when she's off the mark now?
Right.
Like so she switched teams, but she's still off the mark. She's not saying the hard message. The hard message is nobody is coming to save you. There's no Ozempic. There's no removal of red dye 30. There's, hey, you got to eat fucking meat and fruit and vegetables, and you have to exercise. That's it.
See, for me,
she's not saying that she's jumping on board with all these other fucking idiots. And it's like, I get it, but I just think they're off the mark. They're just distracting us from like the truth of really making people independent. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I jumped on the train because when I was more listening to her about her political stance and being like, oh shit, I don't agree with the LGBTQ. Oh shit. Like I'm not just trying to be a white savior out here saving. She was getting shit for that because she, they were like, oh, just because you have a black daughter doesn't mean you're not racist, blah, blah, blah. Like they were giving her shit.
Yeah.
When she turned the page and started talking to like Megyn Kelly and all these other I think she talked to not
Bill
Matt
Maher.
Walsh.
She fucked Bill Maher up, which
Yeah.
was kind of cool. She fucked Bill Maher up.
So for me, I think I gravitated more towards that because I was like, oh shit, yes. One of ours who was totally brainwashed is now
There.
kind of
Yeah.
so
Good.
that's what
We're all of us gays are being fucking pigeonholed with these fucking idiots, and now we got a fucking voice saying,
yeah,
nah,
we need
I'm not with you.
one
Yeah.
somebody with 100,000 fucking followers.
Yeah. I'm with
So,
you. Yeah.
I guess I wasn't looking at it, but now I understand why
Should I
you were
be
like
nicer to her? Okay, I'm gonna be nicer to her from here on out.
okay. Well, because Bernie Gannon was trying to explain to me grifters and shit. And obviously we know that girl that I had on my show, Mercedes Chandler, is a complete grifter. Like she's
She
oh
is.
God, it's so
What does that mean, a grifter? She's trying to sell something?
she just went back. Now that the fight is on the other side for liberals, like liberals
Yeah.
are like lost their minds.
Now she's
Yeah.
on.
Now she's a liberal again. And
Oh.
she's pushing the whole, MAGA sucks, Republicans suck, conservatives suck.
like she was a chapter leader with GAG, with Gays Against Groomers.
Yeah.
And sold it and was in and was part of it. And then all of a sudden, when the election was over, like she dropped
something. Did she see something she didn't like?
I don't think so. I think she literally just is on whatever side looks like the minority. So conservatives were the minority the last 4 years. Now that Trump's in, like liberals are the minority again.
What do her followers say on Instagram? Or is it
Some of
chaos?
them-
Is it chaos?
No, just follow. Some of them follow her and love her, and
half
are
of them.
So
Half of them are.
some
like,
of them are
fuck her up,
confused. Like, wait, weren't you?
She
weren't
she
you
was
team
born
MAGA
in the Midwest
for a while, and like what happened? Or congratulations, like you're on this side, and
She was crazy.
So,
she had a
mixed reviews.
Oh.
But I'm really just hoping like Jillian Michaels isn't a grifter. Like she actually saw some shit and that made her whatever. I don't know anything about the exercise part of it. Like how I remember her shitting on CrossFit for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, she shit on CrossFit so many times.
So bad.
I know.
Yeah.
So bad.
And the thing is like, and now she's on this bandwagon where what she really wants is CrossFit.
Yeah.
Because I don't want them to fuck with the free markets.
Yeah.
I don't want Bernie Sanders' solution. Like all the Democrats who are like pro RFK or like who get on the RFK train, they want to fuck with free markets. I don't want to fuck with free markets. I have nothing. I want people to be able to bring whatever they want to market. Yeah. I just don't want the censorship. I just want us to be
what you're saying is that it's not the job of the companies that are trying to make the money. This is accountability. This is self. This is you have to take care of yourself so that these companies. So if you really want to do harm to the company, don't attack the company. Start taking responsibility for yourself.
When they told us that we had to wear masks to get on planes, we did it. If we wouldn't have done it, there would have been
no power.
They would have lifted up the rule and they would have all let us fly without masks. But they're not going to let their planes sit on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that shit will ever happen again. I don't think they'll ever get us to do that shit again.
God,
isn't it something coming around now again? Didn't they?
When I go out, I see people with masks every day. Like I don't. Yeah,
we're starting to see a lot more now.
I don't go a day without seeing a mask wearer. It's so weird. It's so weird. And half the time, I don't know why. Like I look at them and it's like just some young. Like their grandma or someone has cancer in their family and they think they're doing the right thing.
Right. Yeah. All right, dude. I appreciate this so much. This was so fun. I'm sorry I changed the time on you. I didn't realize how early the freaking Super Bowl was going to start. I was
I don't even care. Did it start?
No, 6:30. 3:30 for you. 3:30.
Okay. All right. I'm good. Thank you.
Got enough time to go get some food, some whatever meat you're going to put in your mouth. Pause. And then
I can smell a ribeye.
I got kicked out of my gym for not wearing a mask. Yeah, everybody did, I think. But yeah, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Have a great Super Bowl Sunday. Sevan, I love you so much. I appreciate you.
Love you guys too. Thanks for always helping me out when I'm in a pinch with the show too.
Yeah.
Anytime.
You can text us.
Anytime. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Deuces.
Bye.
Deuces.